What is up, guys? It's me, and this is the scariest urban exploration I have ever done. For those who don't know, there are many games associated with elevators, such as the elevator game, the 6th floor game, and my personal favorite, the 7th floor game. But in this video, we'll be focusing on the original game known as the elevator game. The game is simple and doesn't require any special items. All you need is an empty elevator. For anyone who has never heard of the elevator game, it's an urban legend that was said to have originated from Japan. There are a few different versions of the story, but they all generally revolve around summoning a ghost through a series of button pushes. In this version of the game, you need to be on the 1st floor, and then push the 4th, 8th, and then the 2nd floor button in succession. Once you've pressed these 3 buttons, you must close your eyes and lean against the back wall of the elevator. Once you do this, it is said that a ghost or other supernatural entity will appear behind you and try to drag you into the shadows. If you remain still and do not respond in any way, the entity will eventually stop trying to interact with you, and you can open your eyes and return to the 1st floor. However, if you do end up opening your eyes while the entity is with you, it will drag you down the shaft, and presumably to your death. In our building, there are only 5 floors. So when I heard about this game, I knew that I had to try it out for myself. Now, before we begin, I should mention that I am skeptical of almost all urban legends. And even though there have been many stories of people supposedly dying after playing this game, I highly doubt that these stories are true. Regardless, I thought that it would be fun to stage a video based on the supposed events that happened during this game. As a lot of you know, I love doing videos with my friends, so I invited them over to my place to help me film this video. Some of my friends didn't really believe in the legend, but they were still willing to participate just to see if anything would actually happen. After my friends arrived, I explained the game to them and then suggested that we go to the lobby of the building to find an empty elevator. As we were walking to the elevator, I was beginning to feel a bit scared. Remember, I am a skeptic, but it's still kind of scary to think that you might be able to summon a ghost just by pressing some buttons. I turned off the lights and told my friends to stand perfectly still until I gave them the signal to move. I told them that once the lights started flickering, they should scream as loud as possible and make a run for the door. Then I recorded them with my camera and waited. Now, I had set up my camera beforehand so that it would record everything inside the elevator, while I controlled it from another phone. Every time the camera changed angles, it was because I moved it manually. I was hoping to make the video look as realistic as possible, so I did everything I could to make sure that the camera stayed steady. The only shaky parts of the video are from when my friend ran for the door at the end. As you may have noticed, I also used audio recordings to enhance the video. For example, when the whispering starts, that was actually me hiding in another room and whispering into a microphone. I repeated this process with other parts of the video as well, such as the dragging sound that you hear towards the end. For the dragging sound effect, I actually had one of my friends lie on the floor, and then I dragged them across the room with a rope. This was not only to get a realistic sound recording, but also to get footage that I could later add to the video. As you may have already guessed, the reason I went through all this effort was to make a short film that looks as realistic as possible. The idea was to make people believe that this was a real video of us playing this game. Then after everyone had left the elevator, I came back to add a few more props and set up a GoPro camera on the elevator ceiling. I did this so that I could get a shot of a shadowy figure standing in the elevator. This was the main scare tactic of the video. After setting up the GoPro camera, I quickly left the elevator and hid in the stairwell. When I heard the elevator arrive on the next floor, I rushed to the camera and hit the record button. My heart was beating very fast at this point, since I had no idea what was going to happen. Waited a few seconds, and then the door opened. At this moment, I had my other friend come out of the elevator shaft and stand in front of the camera. I was extremely nervous when he did this, since I had no idea if the door was going to close on him or not. Fortunately, the door did not close on him, and he was able to safely leave the shaft. We repeated this process several times, and then eventually we got the shot that I needed. At this point, I was starting to feel very tired, and my hands were shaking from holding the camera for so long. So I decided to end the experiment and go home. When I woke up the next morning, I immediately checked my phone to see how many views the video had gotten overnight. I could unbelieve my eyes when I saw that it had over 10,000 views in less than 12 hours. Within the first 24 hours, the video had over 30,000 views. At this point, I realized that I had made a mistake by posting the video online. You see, I had posted the video to a horror community where people specifically go to see scary things. These people are much more easily frightened than the average person. Since I never intended for anyone to take the video seriously, I hadn't prepared for the backlash that was about to come. Hundreds of people were commenting on the video saying things like, "I'm never riding in an elevator again," or "that was too scary." A few people even commented saying that they tried the game and that their elevator had started moving on its own. Although I found these comments funny, I knew that I needed to respond to some of the comments to prevent people from getting hurt. I spent the entire day responding to comments and explaining that the video was fake. However, there were still a few people who believed that the video was real. One of these people was a close friend of mine. He messaged me saying that he wanted to play the game himself. Of course, I told him that the video was fake, but he insisted that I had not done a good enough job of hiding the camera angles. To prove it to him, I sent him the raw footage without any editing. Even after seeing the footage, he still refused to believe me. At this point, I gave up on trying to convince him, and I just let him believe whatever he wanted. Over the next few days, the video continued to spread, and we started getting hundreds of messages every hour. Most of the messages were people telling us that they tried the game and that something spooky happened to them. But we also got a lot of hate messages from people saying that we ruined their day, that they haven't touched an elevator since seeing the video. Now, even though most of the messages were negative, we still decided to post more videos. We made a total of 4 videos, but they were all fake. Even though the videos weren't real, some of them were still pretty scary. In one of the videos, my friend pretended to be a ghost, and in another video, my girlfriend pretended to be a demon. As of right now, the channel is inactive, and all the videos have been taken down. The reason we took the videos down is because we want to focus on other projects. Also, we feel like we have reached a point where it's difficult to top the previous videos. Overall, I am happy with how the videos turned out, and I am surprised at how many people fell for it. Now, even though most of you probably know that the video is fake, I still want to warn you not to try this at home. Who knows, maybe the legends are true, and you could end up summoning a real ghost. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. And if you want to see some more of my short films, I recommend checking out this playlist. Hope you have a great day, and goodbye.